more. No fairy dust, no happy end, just how the nightmare really went. Turn it up, don't ask why.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another fantastic episode of Twisted Tales. This is Jeremy, and I wanted to take a moment to let you all know that this is the official podcast of the Maine Paranormal and Horror Convention coming up in September. And also, I'm going to be appearing at the Paraseekers Expo in Nashua, New Hampshire in August. But now, without further ado, I have a woman on tonight who has been an entertainer her whole life, but she is most known as one of the most prolific walkers from The Walking Dead. Miss Sonya Thompson, come on in, please. Hey.
Hello.
Good
How's
evening.
it going? Good evening.
Fantastic.
How are you?
You know, it's been a very busy day. It was supposed to be a little hotter than it was, but we've been dealing with the blowback from the Canadian wildfires coming down through the sky. It was all really dark, and it was I've never seen anything like that before, so it was kind of an interesting thing, to be honest with you. But how is everything going for you?
It's going great. I've just been staying as busy as I possibly can, and it's been very hot here as well. So,
well, thank you very much for taking time out of your obviously very busy schedule to come on to the show this evening. And I just wanted to jump right into it. And I know that you've been acting for a long time. So what made you get into acting in the first place? What drew you to it?
you know, I've always been an entertainer, I think. I think I was born an entertainer. My very first play, I was an angel. I went to a Methodist kindergarten, and I was an angel up at the church there in a little Christmas play. So that's where it all began, at a Methodist church Christmas play. But I've always put on little skits and plays and stuff, performances for my family. They would sit out in the living room, and I would come in and I would bow, and I would, do a little performance and everything. So I've always been I can't say wanted to be the center of attention, but I just wanted to make people smile. That's something I've wanted to do all my life, is to make people smile. So I've always done a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And I didn't really get into film and TV until 2007. But before that, I did professional clown. I was a gospel music singer in my 20s. That was back in the 90s. So it's just aging myself there a little bit. But I've done a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So.
Christy is saying you were freaking awesome in Zombieland.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, Christy. So, Zombieland, that was quite an amazing movie with was it Woody Harrelson, I believe, and a couple of other cast members. So you were a zombie in Zombieland, correct?
I was, but I will tell you that my particular scene was deleted from the main theatrical release, but it is on the DVD. And I also was part of the training video that all the zombie actors had to watch in order to become a zombie for the show. And that made it to the DVD as well. So my deleted scene made it to the DVD. And then also the behind the scenes in Search of Zombieland, you fast forward to rule number 3, and you'll see me making faces and stuff. And it's myself and 4 others, and then also the director, Ruben Fisher. This was his first full-length movie. He had always done music videos. So this was a big deal for him and for all of us, actually. But the Zombieland training videos, some of that made it to the behind the scenes. Also, a picture of me in full zombie, which was real bloody and everything. But when they showed my picture, they mentioned mad cow disease and syphilis all in the same sentence. So I think I'm the only person in the world that can ever say that that I've had those descriptions about myself, in one sentence. So.
Wow, that's amazing. I saw that makeup. That makeup is very, very frightening.
It was.
How long did it take for them to apply makeup for that? It's extremely detailed.
On Zombieland, it was 2 hours and 2 makeup artists. But on The Walking Dead, it was 1.5 hours to 2 hours, depending, an hour to hour and a half to 2 hours. It just kind of depended on what they were doing that day too. And so it's just two different styles of
Yeah.
makeup artists and makeup and stuff. So,
well, I mean, you can tell how drastically different the two zombie characters are for sure. One of them was obviously in a comedy, a horror comedy style role, and
yeah.
so you were teaching zombie school, or you were the zombie training video. That's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, that was really amazing. I didn't know that day when they called. They had said, and I hope you can hear me. Okay, let me lift my mic up a little bit. They had called me and said, "Hey, they're wanting you to come in for some training for this movie." I said, "Okay," and I had already done. I had an official audition, and there was other people that were dancers that were there for the audition. And so my daughter, she was an actress, so she had helped me prepare for the role for my audition and everything, which I'm very truly grateful for her doing that. Um, but anyway, the director was very impressed with me. And so when I got there, I found out that he wanted me to be part of the Zombieland training video. I didn't know until I was there. I was looking at the casting director and I'm like, "Hey man, where's everybody at?" And he's like, "Well, it's just you and 3 others and instructor and the director." And I'm like, "Okay." And that's when I found out that it was actually a training video that they were making. And I even asked not Sonny, but Sony Pictures to maybe release it. I thought it'd be really cool if they released it to the public. I thought it'd be really neat, addition to like if they ever did like a re-release of Zombieland. And now they've got Zombieland 2, which I was supposed to be a reoccurring character in, and they did not call me back for that because of my scene being deleted the way it was. But it was very interesting because I'm like, man, if they could just release that full Zombieland training video, if they re-release the 2 together, I think that'd be a great thing for them. I really do.
Well, having it in the can, they should be able to use it for whatever they want to. It would be great for you to be able to see, how zombieing should be done, because you were the perfect person for that role, hands down. That's what Christy is saying.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I enjoy doing the Zombieland training video. As you watch some of the behind the scenes footage of it, you see me laughing, and I just, it was really great being part of that. And then for The Walking Dead, we had zombie school, and so I ended up getting like an A+ in that. But I had just done Zombieland the year before, and so that was really great getting to work with Greg Nicotero and Frank Darabont. That was really neat. The zombie school was like one huge audition. That's how they decided their main hero zombies is what they called us. Okay. And so we were extremely featured, and then they had their featured extras, and then they had their regular extras and their deep background extras. So being a hero zombie, you had to be, have your eyes like measured for the contacts, and the contacts I wore on The Walking Dead were full-on scleros. Were the ones that I had for the Zombieland were smaller, but they were like tunnel light vision. But it was a neat experience going through the zombie school for The Walking Dead after doing the training video for Zombieland the year before.
That's awesome. Actually, you touched on one of the questions I had as far as like a zombie. There was like a zombie school, which is really cool. So you were primarily utilized in the first 2 seasons of The Walking Dead, from what I was reading.
Yes, and I was only in season 1, season 2, but my main season was season 1, and so I was in 5 of the 6 episodes, and I was in 4 episodes season 2 then. So, but they had pulled. I guess it was after the first, but no, it was the second weekend, maybe. I think it was the second weekend of filming. They pulled 8 of us out, called 8 of us back in the next week then to do some promotional photos. And that's what landed me on magazine covers, DVDs, shower curtains, like the one hanging behind me.
That's awesome.
And Yeah, so that's what made me one of the most seen in the world is for those promotional photos.
Yeah.
And those were sent like to in the media kits that was used in the comic book issue 75. I also got a shout out from a fan in issue 100 that they printed in there. So it was just it that has been the most surreal thing is to walk into Barnes and Noble or walking through the airport and you look in the bookstore there and or the gift store and you look on the magazine rack and you look down and there you are on the cover of a magazine and it's like, oh my God. Or you open up a magazine and you're in the inside pages of it and it's like, oh gosh, and they were still using my image for magazine covers and such all the way up until like season 9 or 10.
Yeah.
And the last one I believe that I was on was Encyclopedia of Horror.
Yep.
And yeah, that was really neat because I was on the cover with all these iconic, scary people, like Scream and Frankenstein and Dracula and I mean, it was just Leatherface, I mean, there's just all these people,
Right.
all these, I mean, it was just like, oh my gosh, I'm on the cover with this. And then Larry, who bless his heart, died 4 years ago
Ooh.
of a heart attack. He was on the back cover of it.
Nice.
And I think Pennywise was back there with him. And so, and like 2 others. And so it's just really cool that they continue to use our images the way they did. And
Yeah.
I'm very thankful for that.
No, it's really cool because I feel that season 1, was the most important season of all of them because they focused on the zombies more so than the human interaction, which was like from season 2 on. It took a completely different feel and approach after season 1 to season 2 moving forward. And I feel that the zombies were the primary focus of the first season, whereas like halfway through the second season, they started focusing more on the human characters and the interactions and all of the backstabbing and the survival mode for the human characters versus the zombie characters were definitely more of the primary focus of the first season. So it's really cool that you got to be part of a pivotal point for when it feels like they shifted gears,
Yeah, but I've always felt like it was more about the survivors than the zombies. And for anybody that was like, Sonya, I don't like that type of stuff, but I watched because you were in it and I am so addicted now, and so I really feel like, there was more emphasis later on in the other seasons on the survivors and the people more so because then it's just another zombie. I mean, that's what it seemed like. So I do understand what you're saying.
Well, there is because I mean the majority of the first season they're all pretty much sitting around the camp, like all the campers are in the circular campground, and then it was definitely more of a focus. So it was kind of cool that the zombies were the primary thing, and then when you go to watch season 2, and you're like, where did this go? But I mean, it spawned an entire universe, which is amazing.
Yes.
Like, was it 3 spin-off shows off of the main one?
I think there was more than that. I mean,
those are the ones I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, but I think because you had Fear of the Walking Dead.
Yep.
And then the Maggie one, Maggie and Negan.
Yeah.
The Daryl being in Paris, and then there was the 3-part series thing with Michonne and Rick.
Okay.
So that's 4. And it seems like there was maybe something other else, I think. But of course, Daryl Dixon had his show that he got to do,
right?
Where he rode his motorcycle around and about. So, so it's a good bit there.
So, what was it like working with all those characters who have speaking roles, and you're doing all of your speaking through movement? What was
I know.
Like?
Well, I did get to snarl, so that was always nice.
Cool.
I consider that a speaking role. No, I'm just kidding. I had worked with Irony Singleton from he played T-Dog. I had worked with him on TV show, a TV series, which was the first Black scripted TV series for BET called Somebody's. And so it was really good getting to see him again. The first time he's always like, "Oh my God, hello, how are you?" You know, he come up and he hugged me. He's a hugger. And, you know, it was so good getting to see him again and to get to work with him again. And then he's just a phenomenal human being. Everybody is. And then, of course, getting to work with Daryl, you know, and Norman Reedus. And, you know, it's just, I just felt very, well, I didn't really know some of these people's other movies and stuff because I don't know. I don't always keep up with things. There's so many streaming services and things nowadays.
Oh, God, yeah.
But I had never seen that Boondog Saints or whatever it was, so I really didn't know who he was. But we spoke several times, both season 1 and season 2. And then Andrew Lincoln, he was really nice, but I didn't know he was British until like the second or third week I worked with him.
Oh,
And
wow.
we were walking. Yeah, he was doing the Southern accent very well. And we were walking to our car in the parking garage there in downtown Atlanta. And we're talking, and all of a sudden I'm like, holy crap, he's British, you know. But no, I was like, I just didn't even realize it until that moment that he was British, you know, when we were just having casual conversation. But yeah, I mean, I worked a lot with Stephen Young that played Glenn.
Yeah.
We did several promo videos together that were shown at San Diego Comic Con and other things.
Oh, wow.
And he is just a really great guy, and I enjoyed working with him tremendously. He and I had a really good scene together, episode 4, season 1. It's called Valtos. I was in the back seat of a car, and he comes out of a side alley, and he stops off at the car, and I'm resting, and I get out to go get him and chase after him and stuff. And the part that was edited out was me actually chasing him back down to the alley.
Okay.
And so they told me at first I was like a zombie sprinter. I needed to slow down. So I slowed down. Well, then I was going too slow. Then I got it just right. And then but every time I got down there, he would close the gate and I would reach in and I'm trying to get him, but we started doing hand signals and stuff like, yo, what's up? You know, so,
That's awesome.
you know, I'm like, you know, having a keeping character on my side, you know, and reaching in after him, but we're actually doing some cool stuff like that. But, yeah, that was really neat. It was great working with him. It really was.
How long did it take to film the role? Like how long were you on set with The Walking Dead?
Oh goodness. It would take about a week to do one episode.
Oh, wow.
So I worked every week that first season, just about. There was maybe a week or two that I didn't work, but I think it was, gosh, I'm trying to think if it was 2 months or 3 months that it took us to do that whole season. I'd have to go back and look. It's been a bit, and then season 2 was a lot longer because we filmed from like, I want to say like maybe March or April all the way into November. And so we had the extreme heat, but then we had the extreme cold as well. And so that was crazy. And my daughter actually worked with me on season 2. She and I have been in about, I want to say 7 or 8 TV shows and movies together. So yeah, it was great. It was great having her on set and getting to introduce her to Greg and everybody, and her getting to meet and be on set with me for that was really cool.
You definitely, Christy, you definitely have a natural talent and gift for acting. Thank you for bringing your talent to the big screen and making my day. That's what Christy.
Thank you. Thank you.
That is so cool. You know,
very nice.
So, what was your first movie role? Was Zombieland your first movie role? Or?
Oh no, I started in film and TV in 2007.
Yeah,
and I was there was this movie filming over about 30 minutes from me, and a friend of mine was working on it, and I was like, hey, can I bring my daughter? She's a great actress. She does musicals and stuff in high school. It was her senior year. And I was like, can I just bring her to set so she can see what it's about? Because I wanted to see the film side of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, better yet, why don't you come dressed like you're going to a semi-formal wedding? And we're like, okay. So we got all dolled up and put our little cocktail dresses on and stuff. And we headed there and met up with him, and he took us on the set, and the casting agent immediately had us sign in and took us straight to set. I mean, we didn't have no downtime or nothing, and put us right with Barry Corbin and Kristen Kane and Sarah Rue and Kathleen Robinson from 90210 and Will Estes. And I mean, the list just goes on and on of all these great people.
Right.
And the movie was called Nonsense You. And so we were just featured extras in this. But I was like, oh my God, this is really cool being around all these really awesome and amazing people. And so anyways, that was the very first film movie that I worked on. Yeah, and so I started out as a background actor, and then within a couple of years, I started getting lines in some movies and some independents and different things. And before you know it, I have an acting coach and an agent, and so it just all started like that. I haven't done background and gosh since probably 2009, I guess. It was. I might have stepped in every once in a while, but the majority of the time it was. I guess it was. Yeah, I haven't done it since probably 2009, the end of 2009, maybe the beginning of 2010.
Oh, wow.
Right. Yeah, it was right before I started on The Walking Dead that I haven't done it. So it's been that long. So it's been a while.
Wow. Are you actually,
Yeah.
Are you surprised that The Walking Dead became as big as it actually is? I mean,
Yeah, actually, yes. But none of us knew at the time how big it was going to be. We just didn't know how people were going to react to zombies and a show about zombies and
right.
survivors, and we had no idea, and neither did Greg or Frank or anybody. Frank and Greg picked up the graphic novel and started reading it, and Frank fell in love with it. He's like, Greg, we got to do something with this. And so that's how it all began. And there's one network that turned them down, and I believe it was NBC. And so AMC accepted then. So,
I mean, it's just, to me, it's between all of the media and the video. Hey, James, how are you? So, yeah, from all like the video games and the comic books and the novels and I don't even. There might be a cartoon from what I might have seen. Somebody did like fan fiction. I mean, all the fan fiction stuff on social media, whether it's like YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing how everything has just exploded. To be honest with you.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I apologize.
No, it's okay. No. I was the main reason I was just saying this because like in your images all over all of this material, it's
Mm-hmm.
Walking Dead gave the public what they wanted. That is why it got excellent reviews.
Yeah, and to think it all started from Frank picking up a graphic novel called The Walking Dead, and it was all based on a comic book. It's like, oh my God. And I've always been a comic book. I used to trade comic books and trading cards, baseball cards, different things when I was a kid. And so the time that I got a call from a friend of mine, and he goes, hey, you're in comic book issue 75. I'm like, what? And so I called up the comic book store that's about 30 minutes from here. And I said, hey, do you have the Walking Dead comic book issue 75? And he's like, yeah, we just got those in. And I said, well, could you look to see if there's any zombies in it? He goes, ma'am, it's about zombies. And I said, well, yeah, I know that, but I'm talking about like real life pictures of zombies because some friends of mine told me there's some zombies in the back of it. And he goes, yeah, there's a couple in here. There's a couple in the back of it. And so I said, well, could you hold me 2 of those? And so I got in the car and I'm so nervous because I'm like, oh my God, how's this going to be? So I get to the comic book store and I'm shaking. I mean, I really am. I'm shaking. I'm like, oh my God. So I paid for these comic books and I slowly pulled one out and I turned to the back, and that was the first time they promoted the TV series was in the comic book.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing Chandler and I'm seeing Andrew and I'm seeing all these characters. And all of a sudden there's 4 zombies. It's this picture behind me right here. And so see if I can hold it up.
Wow.
Yeah.
There it
is.
And
so it was that picture right there. And I was jumping up and down like, oh my God, that's me. I'm like doing a little happy dance, And the guy, he told the owner of the store how entertaining I was, and I got a phone call asking me to come in and sign autographs. But one day for one of their, I don't know if it was maybe comic book day or free comic book day or what it was, but anyway, it was really nice of him to invite me. But it was just so nice and cool. Because we were the only 4 zombies to appear with the main cast when they first started promoting in the comic book.
Wow.
Yeah. There's only 4 of us and Larry was the only dude. So it was Melissa Cohen, that was Bicycle Girl, Alyssa Grun, myself, and Larry. We were the only 4 that were chosen to be with the main cast.
Chrissy said Hitchcock would be so proud of the Walking Dead franchise.
He really would. I could see him introducing it.
That is pretty cool. So have you always been into horror as far as like
I used to be in horror when I was in school and some a little bit later. I mean, I love the Freddy Krueger franchises. I've always loved vampires. Vampires is one of my favorite genders, of horror. And The Lost Boys is my favorite movie, my ultimate favorite movie. Fantastic. So I've always been more into those. And some of the movies that are like a haunting, that was really good, ghostly type, movie that I really enjoyed. I enjoyed things like that in Twilight Zone, stuff like that. It was definitely I was into horror and stuff, but not so much into zombies. So this was totally new for me to do zombie stuff and to portray zombies, but I play dead very well. I've done other dead roles, like on Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I was a dead nurse. And I was also in Night of the Jackals, which was my very first zombie movie. It happened the year before Zombieland. And that was just a little independent that filmed there in Atlanta. But I do enjoy a good horror flick. But like I say, Freddy Krueger's Nightmare on Elm Street, those were some of my favorites. Silent Night, Deadly Night was a good one.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, those types of suspenseful type movies are the ones that I like. I wasn't so much into Halloween was okay, but now that I have a better appreciation for it now than I did back then. I wasn't that much into like Friday the 13th that much because I just thought it was kind of crazy because why couldn't you outrun him? He wasn't going very fast, So
no, you're right.
So that was kind of my, I just couldn't back then, but I have a better appreciation now for those movies. And I actually enjoy Friday the 13th movies now, and also the Halloween movies much better now than I did when I was younger.
Well, that's cool. I mean, they keep going further and further with at least the Halloween franchise. I don't know, I've kind of lost track. That seems like it's a timeline that just breaks off into 18 different directions, and I can't keep track of it anymore. I mean,
This is
Friday the
true.
13th and the problem with Friday the 13th, I don't know, but when they made the 2009 version, Chrissy says you should star alongside Art the Clown with the Terrifier franchise, which is like the new wave horror icon. My God, those movies.
Yeah. That I could probably be in it, but I haven't watched any of those because I just don't think I can mentally handle them. So, yeah, I could probably be in it, but and
Right.
I'd be fine. But I've been in
Watching it.
several horror movies and stuff, different ones.
Yeah.
So there's some good ones out there that I've done.
Oh, that's really cool. So aside, you had mentioned earlier that you've done a lot of other like parts in horror movies aside from the Walking Dead franchise and Zombieland. What are some of the other indie horror movies that you've been part of? Because I try to keep up with a lot of those indie films.
Well, All Hallows Evil, Lord of the Harvest. I
Okay.
play Victoria in that. I'm a librarian and a foster mom, and my daughter happens to be a witch, and she finds the old spell book. So I'll just leave it at that. You can find that on actually YouTube and can watch for free.
Yeah.
There's another movie called Lawa All Saints Eve, and that is it's based in Louisiana, and I co-star in that. And the guy that plays my husband in that, he and I, we were ex-military, and we go on this tour, and so it ends up being more than just a tour. We're being chased by the tree wolf and all these things. And Rick Prince from Face Off season 5, he actually wrote and directed that, and he's actually directing another a show that I'm in now that I'm starring in, and I play the role of Commander Marie. It's called Back from the Dead, and that's based on the book series by Santiago Solero and Kendra Souder called Zombified. And so it's in post-production right now, but it's going to be an interactive series where the viewer gets to decide what happens next. So there'll be all sorts of different creatures and different things. So but I play a badass Commander Marie in it.
Nice.
And so, I eager you guys, let me get my words. I encourage you guys to go out and look for Back from the Dead on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, and check it out and keep up with it and see where we're at on the progress of it. And I've done other horror movies as well. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like you can go to IMDb and see some of them over there. But I did a movie called The Lost Day. That's starring William Baldwin and Danny Trejo, and it's got Scott Hayman in it from General Hospital, Patrick Burnett from Star Trek, John James, that was I think Jeff Colby from the original Dynasty. He was so awesome to work with, and so that was a really neat movie to work on. We filmed that up in Greenville, South Carolina.
Cool.
You can see that, I believe, on Tubi right now, and that originally was 2 different movies, but they were connected. So the first part was from one perspective, and the second part was from another perspective. These 2 gentlemen, it's almost like a Freaky Friday type thing, but it's not, because one's from the future and one's from the past.
Yeah.
But they connect to each other. And so it's like walking a mile in somebody else's shoes to see how the other person lived during the situation that you either caused or you didn't cause or whatever. And so it was really neat doing that movie. And like I say, it's on Tubi, but the investors decided to put the movie together. Yeah. So when they did, it took away some of what, it's hard sometimes to kind of follow, just because it took away from the true meaning of what the movies were supposed to do. Okay. So you watch Yeah, you watch them consecutively. It originally was called chronology. So you watch one movie, then you turn around and you watch the second, but they decided to put them both together. So they took the footage and did that. Then there's another movie called This Old Machine. I play the role of Flo in it. And and in The Lost Day, I'm one of the lead's mothers in that. And I have two really awesome, amazing scenes in that. And one of the scenes it was like a freaking monologue. I had like 3 or 4 pages to memorize. It was
Wow.
crazy. Yeah. And I mean, I could go on, but anyways, just go check me out on IMDb,
Oh, of
and you'll
course.
see a good bit of the stuff there. And if you ever have any questions, you guys can reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram, and I
Yeah.
try to respond as quickly as I can when I see them. So
It's amazing. I heard you were talking about the project you were doing with Santiago, who's a really cool guy. I've met him at
yes,
a couple of different paranormal conventions. And one of the nicest guys that I've had the opportunity to just, I know he does a lot of work with like mental health and stuff like that.
yes,
He's a big advocate for mental health. Like he runs like lives all the time. It's really cool. You get a chance to work with him on a zombie project of all things. Because
yeah.
yeah,
Well, we've been friends for a long time, and so when I had the opportunity to work with him on this, I jumped at the chance, and plus to work with Rick Prince again, because Rick and I we met back in, I guess, 2010 or 11, and I've worked with him on several different projects over the years. So any chance I get to work with Rick, I just jump at the chance, because he's just a phenomenal person. And this project means a lot to me, the Back from the Dead series, because a lot of it, is going to be helping mental health people. And it is also a family-based horror TV series.
yeah,
There will be no cussing in it, like the F word will not be used. You do not have to worry about that. There will
yeah.
be the gore still, but there won't be the cussing and nudity and things like that a lot of the other shows have in films.
Well, it's okay to tone down the language once in a while because the
Yeah.
actual the footage will do all the work for that. I'm sure
Yes.
people watching it will have plenty of colorful language. Be like, oh my god, why?
Yes. Yes.
That's-
I don't feel like the language makes the flow of the movie or the show go.
oh,
I just feel a lot of times it's unnecessary. So I'm glad to be working on a project that feels the same way.
yeah. Kim Brady's saying that Sonya Thompson. To be honest, you don't just play a badass; you are a badass.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
That's cool. And I was looking at a couple of the other things you were doing, not horror related necessarily, but I wanted to ask you about a couple of the other projects. Uh, Ebony Knight, you play a detective on Ebony
Yes.
Knight.
Yes. And that movie never got released, unfortunately. But that was kind of badass. I enjoyed working on that one. It was supposedly Atlanta's first black superhero. And Darnell Still, that directed and wrote that, was a really great guy. And he's still filming. He's still doing great things. And I've worked with him on a couple other projects. But it's been a while. I need to hit him up and say, okay, dude, let's do something else together.
Oh,
And so I did this one series called Money, Power, and Respect, and it was another Atlanta-based TV series, and I played a cop in that as well, and just one of my favorite roles. I'm just gonna throw this out there was the lumber baron of Jasper County. I got to play a boy, and I
yeah.
helped develop the character. I worked with the writer on that, and I don't know if you're familiar with Green Acres, but there was a
Yes.
painter. Her name was Ralph,
Yeah.
and Ralph wore a cap backward. And I decided that I wanted to do a character kind of like Ralph. So I was Sam, the dog trainer, but I was a redneck. So I got taught like this all day long. It was the funnest daggum thing I ever did. So there was this one episode. I was like, Cletus Jr., pick up your shark. So it's a funny little a web series that's out there. If you've never seen it, I'm in season 2 and 3, I believe is the 2 seasons I'm in that. So, and I also did a little sub series of that called Ask the Baron, and that was really neat too. So,
That's pretty
but
cool. I did see some clips of that when I was fishing through YouTube. 'Cause I always like to go looking for like the indie stuff. I've
yes,
definitely been drawn more towards independent films lately because I feel like a lot of them have a lot more heart and soul behind them because it's
yes,
definitely a lot you know you can feel the passion in the projects. I know that might sound
hmm
a bit odd, but you know what I'm saying. It's definitely you get more. The actors are just more in the moment. It feels like you know.
Well, and I have to agree. I've done some judges. I've been a judge for several film festivals over the years, and you know, getting to watch my fair share of independents and into indies and stuff, has just been really nice. There's some that are better than others, but some the story's so good. I mean, it's just there's so many aspects of independence movies that you can enjoy watching, and they're
Right.
so much more creative because even with some of the fan films for Friday the 13th and stuff, some of them are really good,
Yes.
and I've really enjoyed them tremendously. Um, but but yeah, the mainstream just keeps recreating stuff that's already out there. They redid the
Yeah.
Brady Bunch. It's like, oh my god, and then they made it real stupid.
Right.
And it's so many things that just get recreated, and it's like, can you guys not come up with better ideas, than to redo something that was already good before? Um,
Yeah.
but that's the sad thing. But I will say I did like the monsters that Rob Zombie did.
Okay.
I did like that. That was really good.
I saw it. I'm so partial to the old black and white
Yeah.
and the Technicolor version because the cast was just amazing. Grandpa and Herman
Yeah.
and oh my god, it's
Yeah.
you know Rob Zombie did have his own spin on it, and there was nothing wrong with it. It's just like I can't unsee the original. It's
Yeah.
kind of
Oh yeah.
it's hard. It's if you watch it as its own separate entity, it's an
Uh-huh.
amazing thing. But if you try
Yes.
to if you try to base it off of the other one, it doesn't work.
Oh, I know. I hear you.
I mean, the only thing truly in my mind that worked like that was when they did the Adams Family movies with Raul Julia versus the original series in the black and white with like John Astin and the original cast, which I love the original black and white Adams Family. And then the movies with Raul Julia, he was an amazing Gomez Adams. And even the newer ones with the Wednesday series and
I like it.
that was really cool
Yeah.
too. You know. Um, when you mentioned remakes that you kind of get cringy, I gotta say when
Yeah.
I heard recently that they're redoing A Nightmare on Elm Street and they're trying to pick a new actor for Freddy Krueger, I still cringe.
Yeah.
And it's nothing against poor Jackie Earl Haley, but he just was not the right guy for that role. It just
That's something that they did not, some of those movies they do not need to remake.
yeah
They're classic. They're classic. Quit trying to redo the classics, it's just mm-mm, you know.
yeah yeah no I catch heat too because I love all the original black and whites from back in the day too because I'm a lifetime horror fan, everything from the 1930s to current time and now
Nice.
now more so a lot of independent stuff too. Like I recently had James Stokes on, and he did one of and he's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure, and he's an amazing guy. I had him on a little while ago. And I
Mhm.
love his spin on Jason in the movie that he did with his character, and that was really cool too. And you know,
Mhm.
but no, I don't like when they remake stuff. It's just it's kind of hard to deal with, especially when they redid Nosferatu with Skarsgård, and I couldn't get behind his version of Count Orlok. I might take heat for
Mhm.
it, but I love the original. The- you know, certain people are cast for certain roles, and like that old school silent movie with Max Schreck with the long fingers and the pointy ears, and it still creeps me out. And that movie was like almost 100 years old.
I know, but it was so good. It was classic. I mean, it's totally a classic.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, so It's really good. My mom used to like Dark Shadows, the TV
Yep.
series. When that was redone with Johnny Depp, I was like, oh my God, what did they do to this? This was a really awesome black and white, soap opera, and now they're, once again, it's like over the top.
Oh, I remember when my wife borrowed the box set from her mother, and we watched all like 1,300. You didn't realize how many episodes it was until like, oh my Lord, how many episodes of this movie are there, or this TV
Yep.
show? It's just, it was endless, but it was so cool because the story made sense all the way through.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah,
although
it did.
Yeah, I mean, I might be a Johnny Depp fan, but I definitely wasn't a fan of that particular movie. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I think I love Johnny Depp myself, but some things, I mean, when he did Edward Scissorhands, I mean, that was just so good, I mean, there's so many movies that he's done, I mean, that are just
Sleepy Hollow.
phenomenal.
Yeah. I was a huge Sleepy Hollow fan, and Danny Trejo is 300 years old and still a stud.
He's a really nice guy, I tell you. Very nice.
Yeah, he was cool. I met him at Silver Screen Con last year in Massachusetts, and what a really, really, really cool guy he was.
He's really nice. Very, very nice.
So I had found a post. You have a convention coming up that you're going to be at. Santi has a convention coming up that you're going to be at.
The Haya Nation Horror Show is August 7th, 8th, and 9th in Paragould, Arkansas. So be sure to come out for that. There'll be several. We're probably going to have some other cast members from Back from the Dead there as well. So it'll be a really neat one to be at. And I know Rick Prince will be there. Santiago will be there. I'll be there. So come on out and see us. I'm actually going to try to bring one of my zombie dolls. I hand paint zombie dolls. They're porcelain dolls that I do. And so I'm going to bring one with me, and I'm going to auction it off to help raise money for our show and to donate to Santiago's, mental health causes and stuff. So that he has going. The other convention that I have lined up is Hallows. It's something in East Paluca, Florida, and that's October 10th. And I think it's Hallows Ramacon or something like that. And that's just it's just a one-dayer, but it's in East Paluca, Florida. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's down near below Jacksonville, I believe, or somewhere near Jacksonville, Florida. So I've got that lined up as well. Those are really the only two conventions that I have lined up this year. I had a couple others, but they've canceled already.
Oh, okay.
So right now that's all I've got. Usually I do a lot more every year,
Right.
but last year I did a lot.
Oh,
So this year I'm taking a break.
Well, sometimes you have to. It's important to take a breather and just enjoy life a little bit in between running around. I'm sure.
Yeah, and I enjoy being at the conventions and meeting all the fans of the shows and meeting everybody and meeting the vendors and other guests. But sometimes you just gotta step back and take care of life. So that's what I'm doing this year.
Well, that's cool. It really is. So I had somebody ask, give me a question, and they wanted to know: is it hard to have a private life, seeing that you have one of the most recognizable characters in The Walking Dead? Somebody wanted to know if you have a hard time living like private life away from. Do you get recognized?
I do get recognized, but not as much. And if they're recognizing me from The Walking Dead, I figure I just look really bad that day. Because it's like, damn, do I look bad? I must be looking bad today, But what trips some of my friends out is I can be on the phone with some of my friends. I went through a Burger King drive-through one day, and I had my friend Jim on the phone with me. And this lady, the cashier was like, "Aren't you Sonya Thompson? I'm like, yeah. And she goes, you were in that music video with such and such. And I'm like, yeah, that was me. Yep, you know. And he's over there just laughing. He's like, oh my God, I can't believe that just happened while we were on the phone together. And I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, that was me. Didn't once say anything about The Walking Dead. Didn't once say any, you know. So it was just like, well, it's cool to be recognized for other things, you know. But
Right.
I do get recognized, but it's not as bad now as it was in the beginning. In the beginning, it was a little bit harder. I couldn't go to the grocery store without being stopped, or you know, it was just it was. But it's calmed down a lot now with them doing all the spinoffs and the show stop.
Right.
And there's still people that recognize me and stuff, but it's just it's nice. It's nice, but no, I just go out and do my thing and enjoy life and go hang out with my friends. And a lot of times people have no idea who I am, and that's very relaxing and refreshing all at the same time.
I can imagine a little peace of mind being like, okay, I'm not going to get bothered while I'm trying to eat my dinner or go or do just basic life stuff, you know? So
Yeah.
I had a 2-part question I wanted to ask, and it's almost the same thing, but it goes in 2 different directions. The first one would be, what would your dream horror movie role be that you could play? Like
A vampire.
Really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done vampire type modeling gigs and stuff, but I've always wanted to be a vampire in a movie or a TV show. I was on Vampire Diaries one time, but I was just a regular person. I wasn't, you know, I wasn't a vampire on it. So that would be my dream, is to be a vampire.
That's cool. And on the flip side, what about your dream role, non-horror related?
Oh gosh, I've already done a lot. That I've enjoyed doing in that aspect. That's a little bit tougher because I've already done a lot, and you know that I've got to do comedy. I love doing drama. Yeah, I can't think of anything on that one. Sorry,
That's
that was
okay.
a tough one.
I mean, because you've spread out quite evenly across. I didn't know if there was like a franchise you'd love to be on that you never get a chance to be on, or
Yeah.
No, nothing.
Yeah,
Like
I can't think of anything right now. So sorry.
You know what? Sometimes the questions, they work. I mean, obviously the vampire thing is really cool to actually have a horror role. You know, maybe being like maybe not a reboot, but maybe another Lost Boys kind of a situation.
That would be cool. Yeah, that would be really cool.
I always wish that they did a really proper sequel to the Lost Boys, like a really good one. But
yeah, none of them's quite panned out the way they should have.
No, I mean the first one was a classic. You know,
it was
one of my favorite actors, Kiefer Sutherland. I mean, you really can't get much more further than that. So
you really can't.
You know, I really appreciate you coming on this evening. I have one more question I always ask all of my guests, and your Mount Rushmore of horror characters. I'd love to pick your brain on that. Like, who are your Mount Rushmore of horror characters?
Oh goodness. Well, of course, you know Freddy.
Yeah.
I would have to go with Scream and Frankenstein and Dracula.
Oh, I like that. That's cool. You know, Frankenstein finally gets a little bit of love in the room. I don't think I've had anybody else with Frankenstein yet.
Well, I mean, you know, he can't help that he was put together the way he was.
There have been so many there have been so many versions of Frankenstein over the years too. It's really,
there has.
I guess it's a character that you can use in many different directions. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So to all the people watching and all the people who are going to watch, where can they follow you, and where can they keep track of what's going on?
Well, I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I'm probably on some other stuff too, but I'm never on those. I love Instagram. I've got a website, but I need to update it. It's professionalzombie.com. There's a lot of links and things that are not working right now. I've recently got a new website program, so I can get back on that and get it back what happened is when they upgraded to Windows and all of a sudden nobody's software programs worked anymore.
Yeah.
It's like all of a sudden my software for my website builder was no more. So it was kind of hard to update it, but so I've got to get back on there and update that. So, but I do have, and I own professionalzombie.com. That is the website that I have. So
that is awesome.
yeah.
So, thank you very much, Sonya, for being on the show tonight. It's been great to talk to you. You've been an amazing guest. Everybody, this is Jeremy Cotter. This is Sonya Thompson, Twisted Tales. Go ahead and take us home. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.